Yo guys, what's good? What's happening? Welcome to the sixth episode of Hashtag Remain Positive. My name is Nonzwakazi for those of you who do not know me. And if it is your first time here, this is a page and a space where we just spread positivity. If you are a returnee, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the continued support. I need that. So thank you so much, guys. And before we get into anything, you can follow me on my social media platform. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Nonzwakazi, and we'll leave the link below. So, in today's topic of hashtag remain positive, I want to talk about people pleasing, right? And the reason why I want to talk about people pleasing is because I was once a people pleaser, and as a result, I lost myself. So after I learned that, I just try to find ways in terms of how I can, come back to self and remember that I'm also just as important as a person, as an individual, So I also wrote some points in terms of like how I can assist you if you are a people pleaser, right? I have wrote pointers down, and basically I've given you reasons why you should stop being a people pleaser, right? So the first pointer that I put down is you become exhausted. So you become exhausted from all the pretense, the pretending, all the pretending in terms of like having to pretend that you are okay with the situation or in the situation, having to pretend that you are happy in the space that you are in the people that you are surrounded by, and you become exhausted from just pretending to either be happy just to try and fit in or whatever it may be. The second thing is you forget about yourself, and as a result you become unhappy and you start to envy others. So this is a very big one. This is a very common one because I think it's so easy to forget about ourselves when we start focusing on like other people and pleasing other people, because it happens, and like we do not really even see that it's happening. You start forgetting about your own goals, your own dreams, your own ambitions, and you start pleasing this person who maybe you're trying to impress or whatever. And I'm not trying to judge because like I had mentioned that I was also once a people pleaser, So another thing, you start to resent. And resentment comes from the fact that this group of people or this person that you're trying to impress is winning and is exhausting your energy, whereas you are also exhausted to even focus on yourself, right? So you start seeing things happening for maybe that particular group or that person, and you start also noticing that in your own life nothing is really happening, or like there's no change, or and that builds resentment, which is also such a common thing. Resentment builds up over time when you see things happening for others versus seeing things happening for yourself, right? So let me just share maybe an example or a mini short story. I remember back when I was still a kid, I used to go to a colored dominated church, right? And my family and I, like, we were the only black family in that church. So as a result, like, I only had like colored people, or rather colored friends, and I found myself wanting to fit in so bad because number one, I speak Venic. I come from a totally different household, totally different values, morals, mannerisms as my colored friends at church, you know. So I felt like I needed to be a little bit extra. I needed to stand out a little bit more so that I can be noticed, I can be liked, you know, because I'd also see like the difference in impact, so like in how they would treat each other versus how they would treat me when like I'm part of the group, you know. So I find myself having to be a little bit extra, even though like I grew up a shy person at the same time. I also found myself having to kind of come out of my shell just to be like, guys, I'm here also, you know. I can speak. I can do whatever you guys want me to do, you know. So yeah, it didn't really end well because I ended up leaving the church, and it was just a really hard time for me. I think that's why I'm bringing it up, because like the different hair texture as well, like it was such a thing. I was like, why am I different? That's when I started also realizing that there is like a thing called like different, you know, cultures and races and stuff like that. So yeah, in that space I was young also, but I just found myself having to really like come out of my shell just to fit in to a group of people that I honestly didn't have to like fit in, you know. So yes, I think also I was watching a podcast by Pastor Sarah Jakes rather, and she was also talking about a similar thing. And sometimes when you like I mentioned earlier, sometimes when you people please, you forget about your own goals, you forget about your own self. And she said something so important. She said that sometimes the mission is more important than people's approval. So sometimes you have to realize or know that your purpose in this life is more important than people's approval. So whether people approve or people like it or people support you or not, the mission will always be important than people's approval. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day ahead. Stay safe. Don't forget to smile, and I'll see you in the next episode.